Welcome to Witness. I'm Rida Fakhri. In Singapore, anyone caught with more than 15 grams of heroin faces a mandatory death penalty. No extenuating circumstances can be taken into account by the legal system, and this, argues the UN Special Rapporteur, is a violation of human rights. Now, the conviction of one young Malaysian man, Yong, sentenced to death after being found guilty of heroin trafficking, is forcing Singaporean courts to re-examine the law. Yong's lawyer, Madasami Ravi, is fighting to make legal history as he takes Yong's story to the Court of Appeal. Meanwhile, Yong's brother, Yong, is preparing the family for the possibility that Yong will hang. As Yong languished on death row in Singapore's notorious Changi prison, filmmakers Lin Lee and James Leong spent time with his family and legal team, watching the unfolding of Yong's story.
我名字叫杨云良，今年25岁，在新加坡工作，担任一名厨师。每个星期一，我几乎都是风雨不改的来这里盼望我弟弟杨伟光。伟光在电脑里面已经3年了。因为我希望我还是有机会继续盼望他，这就代表他还有活着的机会。
This is the story of death row inmate Yong and the desperate fight by his family and supporters to save his life. A fight that will become a landmark legal challenge to Singapore's mandatory death sentence for drug trafficking.
妈妈没有钱让他读书，他就没读书了。14岁就开始出去工作这样了。 跟朋友一起，然后去吉隆坡，就去做那种厨房助手。开始听朋友讲，卖那种翻版比较会赚钱，比较薪水比较高一点。人家就跟随朋友，去卖翻版 CD。然后就开始慢慢接触那种流氓分子，就 接触这种毒品啊，老板，你刚才讲这种毒品案只是坐牢几天就会出来，不用紧还是什么
Kong's boss might have told him otherwise, but in fact, Singapore has draconian drug laws. Anyone found with more than 15 grams of heroin faces the mandatory death penalty. Kong had 47.27 grams, more than 3 times that amount. He was sentenced to death in November 2008.
This letter is the most painful letter in my legal career, or for that matter, for me to imagine any one of the family members receiving this letter. It says that this is to inform you that the death sentence passed on Yong will be carried out on 4th December 2009. We will arrange additional visits for Yong from Monday to Thursday, Friday being the hanging date. You are requested to make the funeral arrangements for him.
M. Ravi is a human rights lawyer and perhaps Singapore's most vocal anti-death penalty advocate. It's December 2nd, 2009. He's only just taken on Kong's case. The scheduled execution is 2 days away. But he thinks he's found a way of prolonging his young client's life.
Well, we are going to the Court of Appeal, which is convened on an urgent basis to hear the application on behalf of my client, Yong Kong, to have his appeal heard out of time.
The reason Ravi can do this is because of an unusual decision Kong made after being found guilty. He told his state-appointed lawyer to abandon his appeal.
当时伟光信仰的佛教，他误解了上诉就是要在法庭里说谎，所以他告诉律师，他放弃上诉。
7 months on, Yong says his brother realizes he was mistaken. He now wants to appeal.
今日希望會點啊？希望有奇蹟出現咯，有奇蹟啊！咁咪有奇蹟出現，佢冇時間咯。
It's an unusual turn of events, but will the court listen?
So how did it go?
Okay, I think we did it. We made it.
Congratulations. My family said thank you.
Okay.
For the Yong family, it's a huge relief. But there's another hurdle. The Court of Appeal must now agree to hear Vui Kong's case. A week later, Ravi convinces them to do so, and they set the hearing for 15th March 2010. It's now a month before the hearing, and Vui Kong tells Yong to deliver a message to his supporters.
要到农业新年，在此祝你新年快乐！感谢大家一切忠言。如今我的生命才会保存，虽然还没完整，但已脱离2009年12月4号星期五的死刑。谢谢大家相信我。如今我受的报应，是因为没学到应学的知识和应有的智慧。愿大家要了解，因此。 我愿大家不要选择我的坏习惯，杨伟光。就这样了。其实我们已经准备他的身后有一切，只是如果再有机会出现的话，希望他真的是没事。
Shall we put consistent rulings? Consistent rulings.
It's the 14th of March 2010, just one day before the appeal hearing. Ravi is hard at work. He's enlisted the help of the Death Penalty Project, a UK-based organisation that provides free legal support to people facing execution. Queen's Counsel Edward Fitzgerald and his team have flown in especially for Vui Kong's case. The strategy, a constitutional challenge to Singapore's mandatory death penalty for drug trafficking. Ravi will argue that the law ties a judge's hands. Once a person is found guilty, the court has no choice but to sentence him to death. He will also point out that in Singapore, the odds are stacked against the accused.
In drug trafficking, the prosecution does not have the burden to prove that indeed you traffic the drugs, because the minute you are in possession of the drugs, you are presumed guilty. So therefore, you are presumed guilty until proven innocent.
He understands the appeal.
That night, the lawyers meet Yong and his siblings.
唯一的希望就是改法律，因为他年龄还小，这样就是也会影响这个社会这样。他也知道。
He explained to Wei Kong that the only chance he had is to change the law.
Yes. Yeah. If we succeed, obviously, the court would then have a discretion, and because of the youth of your brother being only 19, that would be a very strong argument for him not suffering the death penalty and receiving a life sentence instead.
这是伟光的衣服了，他以前年轻是喜欢穿这样。
Despite hoping for the best, the Yong family are prepared for the worst. Vui Kong's younger sister, Vui Fung, has bought him clothes for his final journey.
他喜欢穿这种 style。
但是希望他没有机会穿啊。
The next morning, they set off early for the Court of Appeal.
一切都是如愿所偿，就是一切他平安无事就好了，就是其他的都是没关系的。
In court, Ravi argues that the mandatory death penalty is unconstitutional and a violation of customary international law. The Attorney General's stand is that the abolition of the mandatory death penalty should be decided by Parliament, not judges. The hearing takes over 2 hours, and the judges reserve judgment. Ravi seems happy with the way things have gone.
I think the judges gave a fair hearing on the main constitutional issues, and we just can hope for the best.
Join me after the break for the conclusion of Yong's story. Welcome back to Witness. Human rights lawyer Madasami Ravi is fighting for the life of a young Malaysian man, Yong sentenced to death for drug trafficking in Singapore.
An appeal to the gods. Yong is praying for his brother.
这边是新加坡最灵的4马路观音庙，所以我每次就是来这边帮伟光祈祷，希望他能度过这难关。我弟弟杨伟光经常叫我们家人去佛堂里拜拜，做多一点好事，这样可以得到佛教的益处。信佛之后，他的人生观点已经改变很多，让他有勇敢去面对他的人生。也不要太大的希望了，只是希望他能没事了。
Across town, Ravi is seething. He's just been alerted to an article in one of Singapore's state-owned newspapers. The country's law minister has directly referred to Vui Kong's case.
It's very, very serious because this matter is before the courts. And so therefore any comment specifically about the case is sub judice. Sub judice means that matters which are before the court will attract a penalty of a contempt of court if those matters are addressed outside the court, i.e. to the press or matters which are sought to influence the public's mind.
May 15th, 2010, decision day. Yong is on edge.
如果好坏的话，也是他的命数。顺自己，对，我们做好自己。
It's bad news for the Yong family. The Court of Appeal rules that the mandatory death penalty for drug trafficking is not unconstitutional. Vui Kong's death sentence stands. Yong is distraught.
我講啲水啦，每能下次人去睇咗我哋做嗰邊，咁邊件事咧對唔出安然啦啫，對唔出得。點解咁瘦瘦？入埋我硬咗，唉，噴樹。
It's a huge setback, but Ravi isn't giving up. He goes to the Malaysian capital, Kuala Lumpur, hoping to rally support from lawyers, activists and politicians there.
The only option Yong Wei Kong has right now is to present a clemency mercy petition to the president. Now there's a problem here now about the clemency process. This is thanks to an astounding revelation made by the Attorney General in the course of his arguments in the case when I was arguing before the Court of Appeal. He said in court that although in theory it is the President who exercises the prerogative of mercy, it is the Cabinet who makes the decision. None other than the Law Minister, a key member of the Cabinet, made a public statement to a question by a constituent that Yong Wei Kong, he mentioned Yong Wei Kong just before the Court of Appeal delivered its judgment, is young. But if we say we let you go, what's the signal we are sending? What we have thought is that after you have been sentenced to death by the court, you could try to persuade the President to commute your sentence. What we now know is that the President does not decide the petition, the Cabinet decides it. In Yong Wei Kong's case, the senior cabinet minister has said he should hang even before he has presented his petition.
The trip yields more than Ravi anticipated. The Malaysian press picks up Wei Kong's story. Politicians weigh in. Even the foreign ministry gets involved. Encouraged, Ravi files for a judicial review of the president's powers and the minister's statements. And in July 2010, Ravi makes a trip to Wei Kong's hometown, Sandakan. He's fought hard for his young client and wants to find out more about his family and his past. Wei Feng takes him to the house where they grew up.
No light. This is Wei Kong's book, ah?
Yong Wei Kong.
Yong Wei Kong. Oh, okay.
But the spell is wrong. Yong Wei Kong.
See, spelling is wrong.
Yeah.
Why he stopped studying? After like primary 4, he seems to be studying.
He don't like to study already.
Why? The family problem.
Yeah, economy problem.
Oh.
My mother.
The next day, Ravi kicks off a new phase in his fight to save his client's life. He has a powerful new ally, Sabah MP Chua Soon Bui. The aim this time, to collect 100,000 signatures for a petition in support of a second chance for Wei Kong.
Hello, uncle. 这个是伪光的 case， 拿过来，拿过。Auntie， 你签名了，然后让你下来。
For Wei Feng, the exercise is particularly difficult.
这个是伪光的 case， 在新加坡的，他是上哪个人来的？
She's just 19 and painfully shy.
人家係其實個 case 嚟，sorry 麻煩你。
They collect more than 1,000 signatures that morning. But Wei Feng isn't satisfied.
這不是這樣少的，這樣少的，好像有心沒有力這樣子啊。
It's Ravi's last night in Sandakan. Wei Feng is working hard at the lobby of his hotel, writing her own letter to Singapore's president. She's still there in the morning, putting the finishing touches to the most important assignment she's ever set herself.
You did all this by yourself?
Yeah.
And you didn't sleep the whole night doing this?
Okay.
Okay, I will do this.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, take care. Okay.
Back in Singapore, the campaign is also gaining momentum. Online, a Facebook group for Wei Kong draws more than 10,000 supporters. Things appear to be looking up, but then in August, there's another setback. Singapore's High Court denies Ravi's application for a judicial review and confirms the Attorney General's stance that the power to grant clemencies lies with the Cabinet, not the President.
It's called a presidential clemency process, but we have been told that the President does not have a discretion in the matter.
Despite the ruling, Wei Kong's family push on with the plan to deliver signatures to the President. The response to the campaign has been overwhelming. The final tally, 109,346 signatures. It's the first time in a long time all of Yong's siblings are together in one place. Even their long-estranged father is here today. They head for the presidential palace. What do you want to say to the president?
I hope the president of Singapore didn't take my brother's life away.
You think he will hear you?
Huh?
You think he will listen to you?
I don't think he will, but I hope so.
The files are huge,
He's the second brother.
each containing thousands of signatures, painstakingly collected over the weeks.
You may leave, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For security reason and safety reason, maybe you all can move along, because our car will be want to drive in.
But Yong isn't done yet. He's desperate to save his brother and wants to send a personal message to the president.
We heard you. We heard you. Sorry, 我听了知道你们的意愿了，我有 pass the president. So we need you all to depart here, please.
They kneel for several minutes, begging for Vui Kong's life. It's an emotional end to a long, hard fight.
虽然这个很多事情发生在我们家人身上，但是我们还是坚持到底，为了最后1分钟，甚至最后1秒钟，也不会放弃我弟弟Vui Kong。
Thank you for watching. And if there are any further developments on Yong's story, we'll post them on our website. Just go to aljazeera.net/English, then click on Programs. I hope you can join me next time here on Witness.